This is Duke University.
Cuba Strategies is a small consultancy to try to bring sustainable investments and engagements between Cuba and the United States business world. Cuba wants to step up in its renewable energy portfolio from the current 6% to 24%. The plan was to 2030, but as things have become unstable in the Latin American region for the Cubans and for the security of the Cuban energy supply, they want to do it quickly, okay? And the only financial markets that I know in the world that can actually deliver that kind of value, we're talking about $4.2 billion in investments, quickly and effectively, is the U.S. financial markets. So we got the idea of trying to sell this portfolio, this renewable energy investments portfolio, in New York, in the U.S. financial markets, and see if we can get the U.S. renewable energy industry interested in helping Cuba out, and of course in benefiting from 20-year PPAs, which is what Cuba is offering in return for these investments. So as most small island states, you have an isolated grid, and you're dependent on imported fuels, okay? And there hasn't really been an alternative for that until very recently, when renewable energy technologies have got up to speed. Cuba had an alternative with the sugarcane industry, but that did not get prioritized because Cuba was trying to move away from the monoproduction, so monoproduction agricultural model. So the sugarcane industry sort of lost its king role in the Cuban economy throughout the revolution. That became very evident in the 1990s when they had to shut down the sugar mills because they were oil-powered sugar mills. At the same time, it was Cuban specialists helping Brazil do what they have done in Sao Paulo with the sugarcane industry. So energy security for Cuba, so much of the politics and of what's happened in Cuba is dependent on the energy security of the country. When I think about the future and about an important technology space that needs to change, everybody talks about solving the energy consumption of buildings, and that's 50%. Yeah, but the other 30 or so % is transport and the logistics chains. And that's a much more difficult engineering problem because you need to carry energy around, and energy storage is the single biggest challenge. The biggest challenge that I see to achieve this energy vision in Cuba, I see two main challenges. One is that the utility scale problem is actually a financial problem. I don't know of any other emerging market that has an organized plan like Cuba does, which is lined up in policies, doesn't have an oil lobby against them, has a grid that is mature and ready to receive the energy, has the feasibility studies for this 24 input. Like, that 24 input is not a random number. It's a number that they know they can manage without actually doing any other modification to the grid. Okay, so they're ready to go. All they need is the capital to make it happen.